Hello, good day everybody, welcome. This is our last session in this cycle that is dedicated to the concept note and perhaps to answering to some of the additional questions that we received. As you are familiar, we had in the week of 22nd of June, we had a series of different sessions, from one that was related to the general overview of the call for proposal. Then we had a thematic session and we had a 2-hour training on development of the concept note. Day before yesterday, on the 14th, we had a 1-hour session again related to the concept note and answering to your questions. And this is the similar session as we had on the 14th to continue our discussion. Today I see we have 57 of participants with us, which is again very significant number, and we are happy that you showed interest. We certainly hope that you find these sessions useful and it will help you in preparing your concept note at a sufficient quality. Basically, we tried to, we collected all of your questions we received in the meantime from the 14th till today. And I will try briefly to go through some of them because to some of them we answered on the 14th and on the sessions before. So, for example, if we don't have time to answer to your questions, you can certainly go back to these sessions that are available on the EU Prosteer Facebook page. So if I look into some of the feedbacks we received, one of you mentioned that the session on the 14th was too general, and at the end I got confused. So to whether one CSO may be awarded 2 grants in different roles, as a lead applicant in one project proposal and as a co-applicant in another, or one CSO may be awarded only 1 grant in entire role. It was one of the reasons I signed up for the session, and I ended up sending a clarification email, though I do realize that the program receives a lot of questions and requests. Thank you for your work. Basically, again, what we would like to encourage you that each of if you have any questions, please send the official request for the clarification to the email address of the delegation that is indicated in the call for proposal. But I would really like, because this week we kept receiving this question on a regular basis, and I will try, during this session to help you answering to this one, to at least ease your confusion to the maximum possible extent. And also, just before I do that, I would like to refer, yes, the 14th session was a little bit more general because we didn't have time to go into the specificities. But as I said, in the week of 22nd of June, we really had a detailed and separate session where we try to go every single detail to answer to your questions and to give you guidelines in the different aspects. So I will, for time being, I will share with you the guidelines for applicants where you can find this information related to how many applicants, how many co-applicants can be, and what you can do. So basically it is, I highlighted in yellow, so it is on the page 26 of your guidelines, so number of application and grants per applicants, affiliated entities. So the lead applicant may submit more than 1 application under this call for proposal. So you can submit more than, however, the lead applicant may not be awarded more than 1 grant under this call. Okay, so you can receive only 1, you can be only awarded 1 grant for this call. The lead applicant may be a co-applicant or affiliated entity in another application of the same lot at the same time. Okay, so you can be a co-applicant. A co-applicant affiliated entity may not be the co-applicant or affiliated entity in more than 3 applications under this call. Okay. And then if you are co-applicant, still you can have and you can receive 1 grant per lot. So basically, I think here you have the answer. It is more or less sufficient information, but however, if it is still not clear and the person who sent this request to the official email of the delegation, the question will be also officially answered, and this answer will be available to all of you at the same time. Okay, so the second feedback was private companies. Can they be also, as experts, can they be involved in the projects with the call? Can we put into the budget their salaries for workshops, trainings, etc.? So this is, again, you have the answer to this question on the page 17th of the guidelines for applicants. Let me just find it. So you are entitled to have the contractor under this call, so they can be definitely involved as an expert and the contractors. Let me just scroll to the page 17. Yes, so the contractor, the beneficiaries and the affiliated entities are permitted to award contracts. Associates or affiliated entities cannot be also contractor in the project. Contractors are subject to the procurement rules set out in the Annex 4 of the standard grant contract. So this Annex 4 is also available in your the full set of the documents that you received with this call for proposal. And you can pay attention to this once you have the contractor or the experts engaged. One of the feedback was, will be great to know how to affect the number of applicants. Have the project with the 2 applicants more chance to get the grant or not? It is not the number of the applicants or the co-applicants that define the success of your project. However, on the page 15 of the guidelines of the application, you have the requirements by certain lots, how many co-applicants there should be. So if you go to the page 15th, you see it is really indicated. So for the lot 1, the minimum number of co-applicants is 2, so you have to have them. So if you don't have them, you will be disqualified. A partnership between civil society organizations and local authorities are strongly encouraged. For the lot 2, the minimum number of co-applicants is 1. Lot 4 and 7, the minimum number of co-applicants is 3, the maximum is 10. And then the lot 5, the minimum number of co-applicants is 1. And then lot 6, minimum number of co-applicants is 1 and the maximum is 5. So the answer is yes. This is in the element of the requirement that you should look into the co-applicants. So you can be disqualified if you don't meet this requirement, but definitely there are other elements that will, decide on the full success of your of the selection of your project proposal at the end. So these are some of the feedbacks on the session we had on the 14th. If we go to the questions that we received for this particular session, we again have the repetition of some of them, but and some of them are new and maybe we did not answer on the 14th. And so the first question is, what are the exact feasibility criteria for the potential project ideas? Is it more about financial feasibility or the overall project implementation feasibility, institutional capacity by the lead applicant? Basically, it is, we can talk about both, because now you are at the stage of the concept note, and the criteria for selection will be the relevance of your action, how it is designed, coherence, and so on. But at the level of the full application, again, there will be a criteria where your organization will be assessed. So if we go, hold on for a second. I think if we go at the end of the call of proposal, you will see that at the later stage, at the stage of the full application, there are a few elements that will be taken into consideration, and they are selection and the award criteria. And then it will be stability of your organization will be taken into consideration, and your financial resources will be taken into consideration as well. So, and this is why we can say that both of these aspects will be taken and should be paid attention to. Yes, design and coherence of your project proposal, but also your organizational aspects. So here is where you can look in details how your full application will be evaluated at the level of the full application evaluation. So the both elements are important. What are the requirements for the project partners? We answered to this several times. And you have the eligibility criteria. Please go back either to the videos available from previous session, or please refer to the guidelines to the applicants. Can Creative Communication Agency be a project partner? This goes together with the previous question. This is also answered either in the previous videos, or you have the answer who is eligible to go as a partner, meaning the co-applicant for this call. Is a young NGO registered a couple of years ago eligible to apply? So this is exactly what I tried to I'll let you know in the first question that the evaluation of the full application, this selection and award criteria will be taken into consideration. So even if you are a young organization, you will have to show some evidence that you have the financial stability. So there is no minimum criteria in terms of the years of how long your organization is active, but then what it will be taken into consideration, how financially stable it is, what is the number of staff you have, and so on. So these are the elements you have to think of. How to better understand the priorities of this specific call for proposal. We really paid diligent, I would say we tried to answer to this diligently either in a week of the 22nd, as I mentioned, and during the last session. Priorities are well elaborated in the guidelines for applicants. You have plenty of things to combine or to think through, or maybe you can come up with some additional possible actions that you think that could be of importance for particular lot. What type of funding can you access? Not sure that I understand this question. Who can be supported by the grant? This goes together with the previous questions. A particular added value elements that should be described here. Is it specialties of the project? We answered to this during the last session. Basically, the value added is something that you, as a consortium, together with your partners or organization who is really active in this area, in this particular lot, theme, and sector, and based on your experience, you try to introduce. This is your comparative advantage. It can be different. It can range for the public-private partnership, innovative approaches, best practices, and so on. So. Often this part, when you are writing the concept note, is a little bit neglected. Our advice would be that you really pay attention because, as I've said, it is your comparative advantage in comparison to other organizations who are also participating in this call for proposal. At what stage should an audit be planned? Intermediate, final? Can the cost of this item be planned in the budget, or is it audit mandatory at all? Please. So my advice would be that you also send this question officially to the joint delegation address that is indicated in the call for proposal. But I will try briefly to let you know basically how this is, where you can find the answer. Basically, it will be part of your contract. Specific contract, and where you can where you most probably it is indicated is if your audit is required. But also if you look into the budget form, for a second. For some reason I cannot share the Excel file here, but basically if you open the budget, which is one Annex B, again part of the call for proposal, of the full package of the call proposal, you will see that that one of the items, one of the lines is that you have to indicate the expenditure verification and audit. It is 5.3. Okay, so this suggests that you will have to have the audit every time you submit the financial report to the delegation. But as I suggested, the best way would be that you officially ask for this question. And why is this important to raise it at the moment? Because really it indicates you have to take into account these costs as well, because at the concept note stage, you have to give the overall budget. So this cost can have the implication on the overall budget estimation that you have to come up with at the stage of the concept note. Okay, so let's go further. So please advise if is there any place in the concept note to specify the budget of the project. Okay, we tried to answer this last time on the 14th, but due to the time's limitation and for some reason did not have the opportunity to share the screens. I would like to now use today's session to really guide you through this. One of the reasons you don't see perhaps this part in the Annex 1, which you received together within the package for the call for proposal, is because you are requested to submit your concept note via prospect. Okay, so and if you really go through this the concept note template, there is no room where you can put the budget. And this is why I find this question really good, and I hope that this will help you to understand where you will indicate the budget of your concept note or further full application. But if we go to the original template of the Annex 1, which is part of the Prague of the European Union, and the Prague is a procurement I would say the procurement procedure of the European Union. This is how it looks. So in this particular one, so this is the template of the Annex 1, you can see, let me just find my way in this document and bear with me. I know that there is a lot of scrolling back and forth. So in the there will be section 1.5 project details, and so you see in this template, which is the generic one, it says delete this section if you are applying via prospect. This means once you enter in the prospect, you will have the opportunity. You will have this place where you will be able to put your budget. So in this section 1.5 project details, you will put your title of your action, lot number you are applying to, okay, the location of the action, and then the month, and you put the request EU contribution and then requested EU contribution as a percentage. So this is the place where you indicate your budget. I hope with this one we answered to your question as well. Okay, so Next question, do we correctly understand that no supporting documents should be downloaded while concept note submitted? In other words, all supporting documents should be downloaded later, even after full application selection. And the only file to be downloaded before 14th of August is the concept note. Maybe here, instead of downloaded, it should be uploaded, or is it a part that should be submitted? Or does this mean, again, the question is not so clear. Does this mean that you have to take into account only out of all documents that belong to the package of this call for proposal? Perhaps the person who asked, they thought that, that only concept note Annex A1 should be downloaded from this package. Of course, you can download all documents. Even it would be good if you study them all, because within some of them you will have the answer, what should be taken into consideration, even they are not part of the concept note. Like, if you download the Excel file, which is the budget, it will suggest to you what needs to be taken into consideration when you are planning your budget. You can look and you can examine the contracts, the templates for the grant contract, so you can see, how the payment will be done and at what pace and so on. So you can download them now. It doesn't hurt. You can also study them. It doesn't hurt. It will just make you more informed about the next steps and all the elements that perhaps you have to think about. If this question relates to what needs to be submitted, then yes, it is for the concept note. Yes, this is only the Annex A1, but with its two parts, please do not forget to have both parts submitted. One of them is the text of the concept note, which is this summary of the action, which is part 1.1. And then you have the declaration by the lead applicant that needs to be signed, also submitted together with the concept note. Next question is, what territories should the project be extended to? Are there any quantitative parameters required? Please go back to the guidelines to the applicants. As I was able to study it, there is no such requirements. They tell you what is the what are the lots, what are the minimum requirements per lot, what are the eligible activities, what are the eligible costs. So all of these answers are available. How many concept notes can be submitted? We answered to this question previously. What are the main requirements to the documents within the application? Okay, this is, we really answered to this question during the initial training on the concept note. You can go back to this. I briefly mention that it is the body text of the concept note that I've just showed you here, and then the declaration by the lead applicant. Okay, so I think in some way we exhausted a majority of the questions related to this session. I apologize if I did not answer to all of them. If after you listen previous session, if your question is still not answered and you have some doubts, please send the official question to join the delegation of the European Union. I would like to use remaining, maybe 20 minutes or 15 minutes just to guide you through PADOR and prospect, because this is something that often applicants leave to the last minute, and maybe because you are running out of time, you get confused, and this can create some additional frustration for you. We kept repeating that you really should not leave this to the last minute, and we try to look into the additional documents that perhaps can help you to go through this PADOR registration more easily. What we were able to find for you is these frequently asked questions on PADR. We will see how we can share this document with you in the most efficient way. So really, it gives you gives you and provides you all answers one can face with when registering with PADR. So what is PADR? Who needs to register? So if somebody is ministry or not. So when to register, when to update organization account. This, for example, if you already have the PADR, and if you have to update it or not, how to register, and basically these are some. And then you have this ECAS username and ECAS pass for registering as a username in PADR. So this can again create some confusion to those who are coming as the new potential applicants for the EU grants. The ECAS registration and username is for the individuals and not for the organization. So in PADR you register your organization, but ECAS is for you as an individual to deal with the PADR. So please study this as well. Maybe it can help you to understand some of the and you should do this registration as well. Maybe you some times ago or somebody from your colleagues who left the organization registered in the PADR previously, and you don't know, the new person came, the staff changed, so you don't know if you have the account in the PADR. So these frequently asked questions, they really give you the guidelines how you can answer to this and how can you investigate. So identify your organization in PADR. Does my organization already have a profile? How to check? So it can help you how to find the answer to this. And what can happen if you already have, if your organization appears more than once, this can help you as well, and so on. Also, you will see that you can, when you register in PADR, you can do it offline at the same time. Maybe sometimes the online is not stable enough. So, but it is important to go through this document as well as through the guidelines to registering to the PADR and to understand what you need to prepare. So prepare all of your documents before you start registering, because sometimes you need to upload your financial documents of your organization. So you have to prepare them and so on. So this is important to have this in mind. Okay. Anyhow, I hope that this frequently asked questions can help you in addition, as I said, in addition to the guidelines, and please go to this document as well. Now we can move to the user manual of the for the prospect. This is the prospect is used to submit your concept note. So this is not a PADR, this is something different. You are obliged to submit your concept note through prospect. And this is really, this manual is nicely done and it is very self-explanatory. It really guides you step by step, and you should investigate this prior to the moment you decide to submit your concept note, again, to avoid your frustration or any problems you may face while doing it. So it first gives you the description, what is the equals prospect, why is it used, and so what, before starting, tips to help you with your application. So it is really nicely written and it's a user-friendly. It suggests to you what are the system and browsers requirements that you have to have in place. If you wish to have on screen spell check, you can maybe you should use Mozilla Firefox. They suggest So online submission, take the time you need to complete your application properly, save it regularly, and do not forget to submit your application before the deadline. Once you have submitted your application, you will not be able to make any changes. So be cautious about it, be careful about it, pay attention to your application status. If your application has been successfully submitted, the status of your application will change from draft to submitted, and a notification message will appear in your prospect profile. An email message will also be sent to the email address you have indicated if you have selected the relevant option in your user setting. Ensure that the email address you wish to link your application to is valid and will be active and accessible for the complete duration of the selection procedure, and so on. Then accessing and submitting the application, it tells you if you are the new user, how you register, what to do, what are the steps to follow, how to create the account. It really opens it gives you how the window is going to look like. So as I said, and also it gives you the information what needs to be written in each of the cells here that are mandatory to fill in. So if you are existing user, it guides you what to do in that case and how to sign in. And from here, you can see you have to select the call to which you want to apply. Screens and navigation in the calls for prospects. So you have the main menu displayed on the left-hand side and so on. I don't know if you, while preparing for this concept note, did you have time to download this manual or not? If not, I would suggest that you do it as of possibly today. Maybe you can definitely assign somebody from your organization to take care of this part, and while somebody else is developing the concept note, prepare yourself for this, and especially if you are new in the process. Why am I also strongly advising you to do, in case you have some technical problems, you can always contact, you have a contact address in the guidelines, which I will show to you. It is indicated. Okay, this is at the level of the full application. Okay, so if there are any and how to concept note should be sent. So this is the web gate. Okay, if you, for example, why am I showing this to you is in case you have any problems, either with the PAD or prospects, you still have time to ask official questions to the delegation, and this is why I would strongly encourage you to do so. So basically, I think this is it in relation to the PADR and prospect. I think that also we answered the majority of the questions. We really try to do our best in make this session or the whole process as interactive as possible. Unfortunately, due to these special conditions that we are faced with, and we can do it only through Zoom and these online platforms, we cannot have the full participation with you, which would be even more, I would say, more appealing to you if we would enable you to ask us questions at the moment. But as you know, these sessions are sometimes very difficult to manage. This is why we were trying to collect your questions prior to the session, and we try to address all of them. We really tried also to share with you all of our knowledge or the information that we have at our disposal at this given time. So again, I hope so that this was really useful for you. You find it sufficiently informative that you can produce a good quality concept note, that you can be in, you can see this whole process quite inviting and beneficial to you, and so on. So I would stop here. I can invite, I don't know if our colleague from delegation will be able to join with us, because she experienced some of the technical problems, and I finished with this part a little bit sooner than we anticipated. I don't know if Cinziana is available.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Can you
Hi.
hear me well now? Hi. So first of
Yes.
all, apologies to everyone. I cannot connect by video, but I do hope that you hear me. First, thanks a lot, Yazenka, for this presentation. I think that in general, the main issues have been covered. We are still trying to get out the first round of clarification requests, given that we had an extensive number of questions, mostly along the lines of what you submitted in your registration forms. Maybe just a couple of pointers. So yes, register in PADOR, have your co-applicants, either local authorities or public institutions and affiliated entities and other CSOs. Everyone that has, co-applicant or affiliated entity, have them register in PADOR and link them to your application. This is very, very important. Read carefully the eligibility requirements. Do not make more of the rules that, let's say, the official that you may receive is not to your satisfaction or does not answer particularly your specific case. Try to play devil's advocate on your case, and try to make sure that once you will be confronted with stating your case of why did you consider that you are eligible and so on, you have all the legal arguments in the guidelines. I cannot stress enough, the guidelines are the documents, the document to refer to. Whatever is written there is the legal base of this call, and this is what we and you can refer to for the rules that govern the selection of the successful applications, and whatever is not written there is not a rule. So basically, the guidelines are your reference point. Otherwise, I wish you all the best of luck. We expect really a very high number of applications, also based on the fact that indeed you may submit concept notes, as many concept notes as you wish. So we do expect to receive a very high number of applications, which means that the competition will be very high for this call. But at the same time, we hope that the quality of the proposals and the quality of the projects finally financed will be equally high. Also, judging based on the number of questions and the type of questions that we received from you, I see that as of last week, at least, everyone is working very hard on building partnerships, on reflecting how to build your application. This is very good, and I hope that in the meantime you are also doing the administrative procedures, and also drafting the concept note to the best of your ability, and reflecting basically the relevance and the intent of the project that hopefully, or at least some of you will develop further on at the full application stage. So on this note, I hope that by tomorrow we will be able to publish this clarification request, the response to the clarification questions that were submitted until last Friday. And then shortly after, we will publish also the responses to the clarifications received by the 24th of July. So on this note, I would like to thank you all very much again for attending this session and for your interest in this funding. And again, the best of luck with finalizing your applications and submitting them, as Yazenka stressed, on time. So yes, the best of luck. Yeah, Zenka, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Tiziana. No, not really. I just want to kind of join my wishes to their success in the application. Basically, really, from my experience, I would like to suggest to you and to encourage you to, pay attention in writing your concept notes. Start on time. Basically, you're supposed to start it already. As we were mentioning in our sessions before, as Tiziana mentioned, pay attention to the guidelines for applicants, pay attention to each element of the annex, especially in this case, Annex 1, not only the headings, but also the bullet points which guide you what to write there. And as I've said during this session, you are more than free to download all documents that are part of the package of this call for proposal. If you have time, study them, because they give you hints what needs to be included in the next stages, which can also help you in making your concept notes stronger. As I mentioned, don't neglect any part, especially the added value, because this is your comparative advantage. This is the place where you describe why you are the best choice for the European Union in this particular team or for that particular project, or why your project is so relevant and so important. And really, all the best in your endeavors. We hope that there will be a good quality of projects and a great number of the projects, and this is all. Thank you, Tiziana. Thank you so much, and thank you, my colleague Irina, whom you don't see, and our colleagues from the EU Prosteer, and thank you all.
Thanks a lot. The best of luck. Bye bye.